Hello and welcome to ChinnyVision. This time, resource management, budget style. I guess I'm not the only person who can remember the exact circumstances I purchased a game. Colony was a budget game I purchased summer 1987, and I got the money from painting a large metal gate in a hammerite black paint. This was the first Bulldog game I purchased, attracted by the cover, which has a kind of droid thing on it that doesn't exactly resemble the droid in the game. But anyway, here we are on the Amstrad CPC, and as I say, Colony is a game about resource management. You're in the far future, and you are a droid on an alien planet because you have to grow mushrooms for the rest of the human population who live on other planets. The planet you are on is hostile, hence why you're a droid and you've been put on this planet all on your own. You are in an enclosure where you grow mushrooms, and there are aliens outside the enclosure who want to come in and eat everything in sight. And you just see one there, he's eating away at the fence. You have to maintain the fences. There are 3 types of fences: barbed wire, which is the weakest, wooden, which is the one you can see there, and steel. I'm just going straight over to the C64 so we can see it on here. Same loading screen as the CPC, but a reversed background. You have to look after the mushrooms, make sure the aliens don't eat the mushrooms. When the mushrooms are ripe and ready, you pick them, take them to a special room and deposit them. And you can also send for a spaceship to send you some more resources using money that you got from selling the mushrooms. So first thing you should really do is actually order some supplies when you start the game. So here we are in the room where you order the supplies, and you can order different things. A good thing to order is a battery for the spare droid that you've got, or the remote droid rather you've just seen on the screen below. Put a battery in him and he'll wander around and shoot aliens, which makes your life easier. You can also order things like mushroom seeds and extra solar panels and various bits and pieces. We don't have much money at this stage, but we're going to order a few things just to make our lives easier. The further you get into the game, the less frequent the spaceship visits are. So if we order now, we're going to have a spaceship visit in 2 minutes time, or actually 1 minute 50. 1 minute 14:51, okay. And when that arrives, we will have to set the beacon, which I'll explain in a minute. But you can saw some mushrooms there. They are growing at the moment. We can't pick those. We've got to wait until they are mature. Those little grid things there are places that you can place fences. You can't just place fences anywhere. That room there is where you deposit the mushrooms. This one here is the steel fence store. So we can pick up some steel fences and go and stick those down somewhere. Initially, there's quite a few fences down initially, but you do need to put some more down to protect your mushrooms. I can see an alien eating away at the metal fence, the wooden fence there. They will just eat everything in sight. Your droid has 2 modes. It has a laser mode where you can shoot things, and a mode where you press space where you can pick up mushrooms or place things like fences down. I'm just changing these fences over there for steel fences because the aliens do tend to try and come through that space there. We can put some fences up there as well. It is a resource management game, as I said in the introduction. It is about just managing. You don't want barbed wire fences there. This is what barbed wire fences look like. You saw them on the top left-hand side there, but they are absolutely useless. Right, so we're going to head back now. The mushrooms are looking a bit better now. I can actually pick them. On the C64, the mushrooms seem to be ready far quicker than some of the other versions. The Spectrum, Amstrad and MSX versions take about 6-7 minutes for the mushrooms to grow to maturity, but on the C64, no. Here we are at 1 minute 30, and we've got a load of mushrooms that are ready. There's the remote droid. When we get the battery, we can pop the battery into him, and he will go off and do his thing. I'm just going to hang around here now, because what we need to do is activate the beacon, so I can't go too far away for when the spaceship comes. You can't just activate it and leave it on, because it drains the settlement's power banks, which is what the solar panels are for, which the aliens will try and eat the solar panels as well. So I've activated the beacon. I saw an alien run onto the screen there, so something's eaten through a fence already. Don't enter the screen below when the spaceship is about to land, because you'll just die instantly. Giving up the mushrooms, I get some more credits to spend. And there we go. I am cheating, by the way, on the C64 version. The only version I will be cheating on. I just wanted to order some extra things up to show what they do. And it's vital you swap to laser mode when the aliens are around, or you won't be able to shoot them. Yeah, they've eaten through there already. I'll go and give him what for. There you go. Right, so let's deal with what's been landed down here. That's an enhanced gun for me. There's some fences there, some death traps. That's the battery. We're going to put the battery into the remote droid. And off he goes. And instantly my life will become easier, because he randomly wanders around, but he will keep the aliens under control. Absolutely vital to have him. He really does help the situation. You do get overrun very quickly without that additional help. Right, we've got to drop... When these things have been dropped by the spaceships, we've got to go and drop them in the relevant rooms. So we've got some mushroom seeds. We're going to drop the mushroom seeds here. And then we're going to go up to the fence store and... This is the steel fence store. Yep, drop some steel fencing off here. And finally, we've got some death traps. We're going to drop into the store up there. And this is the Atari XE version. Nice, attractive colour graphics. I haven't reproduced too well. I always sometimes have problems with capture from the XE. I do have a circuit to install to improve. I must get around to it and feel brave enough to do it. So here we are, 1 minute 30. Those mushrooms aren't mature yet on the XE. Going to put some fencing down in front of there. At the end of the day, fencing only delays the aliens from eating everything inside. It won't stop them, and if they want to get their way through, they will. But steel fencing does considerably slow them down. The solar panels power the settlement. They power the beacon that you need to get the spaceship to land. They also power some death grids. There are certain points where the aliens can't cross. And they also power the thing that recharges you. If your energy is running low, you can go to a room down on the left-hand side of the map, jump in there, and your shield and laser will be boosted back up to full. If you've got a damaged fence like there, what you can do is, it's not scrap. It's a good idea to stop the aliens eating the fences before they completely vanish, because even if they're just crumbling bits, take them back to the relevant room, drop them off, and they'll be instantly repaired. And you can see there, just going to try and stop him from coming in, and him. And this is the MSX version. Goes like Icon Design, by the way. And there are the 5 versions, the CPC, C64, MSX, XE and Spectrum. A little bit slower on the MSX, but more detail on the graphics. And you just get text in the shopping list screen here. Again, just going to order a few things. So I've only got 740 credits. Down to 540. Order the droid battery and that will drop down. So no cheats on this version, no cheating on the C64 version. So doing this the proper way. I think from memory I managed to survive about 50 minutes back in the day when I played this before it all got too much. And remember, the 2018 ChinnyVision calendar is now out. It's limited edition. All the screenshots on it are from the original hardware, so order yours today from ChinnyVision.com. The URL is in the description below. Over to the Spectrum version. The screen may look smaller, but I think it's just stretched on the MSX. I don't think there's any more pixels on the screen. So I collected some death traps. It's certainly much, much faster. And I'm going to drop these down by the solar panels. A death trap requires power from the generator, so you need lots of solar panels around to power them, but if an alien walks past, they get sucked in and they die. It's a good way of... It's not as effective as fencing, but you can put death traps anywhere. Fencing you can only put in the sections that are marked. And it is quite a big job because you can only carry 4 items at once. So if you want to fence off a huge area, you've got to keep on going back and forth to the relevant place, the relevant room, pick all the things up, and it just gets a bit much. So oddly, on the Spectrum version, you get full graphics on the ordering screen, whereas on the MSX you just get text. So there are some differences between the MSX and the Spectrum version. It's not just a straight port onto the MSX. Can't afford a heavy-duty laser. It's a good thing to have, but I've been ambitious and ordered a heavy-duty laser there. Didn't mean to do that. So again, if you look at the timing on the Spectrum version, 8 minutes before the first spacecraft comes. On the C64, it's 2 minutes. I'm back over to the XE, and I've had some things arrive. So let's load up the droid. Oh! Alright, what's going on here? We've got a crash. It's always interesting crash to see a game overwriting its own screen memory. But I think this is as far as I'm going to get on the Atari XE version, because we've got interesting looking but and quite pretty crash. Interesting crash as well, but that's it for the Atari version. Back to the Amstrad CPC, these lovely colourful graphics that caught my eye when I had this game, and the low resolution area for the gameplay and medium resolution for the status display. And the shuttle will be here we go. Here's the shuttle beaming up the mushrooms and beaming down my items. And again, that's 7 minutes on the Amstrad version. I think 2 minutes is on the C64. It seems to be very quick to arrive. So let's hope we don't get lots of problems when I put the battery in on the Amstrad version. There we go, off he goes. The map is absolutely identical on all the versions, and the gameplay doesn't vary at all. The differences are relatively tiny between the versions. As I say, there's some timing differences on the C64 version. Things seem to happen faster on that version. On the MSX, there's differences on some of the menus. Seems to have been cut back for some reason, not sure why. Really odd, considering. And here's a solar panel. It's just going to... Any kind of fencing helps, because that, although that stops me going that way, I can remove that fence if I need to. It just blocks off the aliens coming through and just causing problems. And once they get into an area like that, they start eating the solar panels. And power is absolutely essential. You need money to buy things, but the colony will fall apart if you don't have enough power. And if they eat the mushrooms, they look funny like that. So if I go and try and trade those mushrooms in, I'm just going to pick enough up, I will be told off, because I've got 2 bad mushrooms there. Unfit for human consumption. The hardest thing in the game is keeping enough, replacing the seeds and picking the mushrooms. It becomes quite laborious. Like you see, I've picked a lot of mushrooms here, and I haven't put the seeds back down due to poor planning on my part. What you should really do is get the seeds and swap them for the mushrooms, and take the mushrooms back, get more seeds, again swap them, and so on. But it's much harder than that, because of course there's constant interruptions. An alien will suddenly wander past. You'll have a spaceship arriving. You have to stop what you're doing, and then return to it a few minutes later if you remember. So far it's quite quiet. I managed to keep the aliens back. There's a few holes in the fences, and you can one thing with the solar panels, and I'm picking up death traps here, but you can plop those down anywhere as well, and they will all contribute. You don't need any wiring. They don't need to be in a special area. You can put them down anywhere. But on the other hand, you've already fenced them off, so you just do need to think about that. Now I'm just going to try and put some death traps down up here, just to keep this nice bank of panels up here clear of aliens. On the Amstrad version, you get a nice graphic for the death traps. On the Spectrum and MSX, you just get some weird squares, like no one could be quite bothered to draw them. Can be quite difficult to position yourself as well. Just, oh dear. Right, there we go. That's down. And here we go. You've got aliens suddenly wandering around. It's very nice and colourful on the Amstrad. I do like it. All the aliens being different colours. And let's get some seeds and try and put that down to get some more mushrooms. A little map top right as well shows you where you are on the gameplay grid and where the remote droid is as well. The top right icon shows you if you're in pickup mode or laser mode. And you just press space to change between the two. Again, it's nice and colourful on the C64, a little bit faster than the Amstrad as well. No in-game music, it is just sound effects on all of the versions. Back over to the Spectrum. I've got a very low shield now. So, oh no, that's it, game over. This droid is dead, deceased. It is the next droid. Shuffled off this mortal coil. That's me, Monty Python. Back over to the Amstrad. And again, I've been playing the Amstrad for 21 minutes now. And again, I don't have much shield left. Really need to get down to the bottom and get recharged. There's a charger room there. Oh. No. Oh. Charger room's there. Go in there, replenish all your energy. It didn't quite get there. And again, the same message on the Amstrad. Colony is a really deep game for a budget game, especially one that only costs $1.99. Simple concept, takes a little time to get into, but once you start managing those resources, it really sucks you in, and suddenly you've been playing the game for 30, 40 minutes. There is a lot of variety in the gameplay. Pick mushrooms, plant mushrooms, look after fences, zap aliens, put traps down and maintain the solar panels. It's just about maintaining the colony and managing those resources. There's no end to colony. You can't win colony. You just go on forever until you can't play it anymore. All the versions are very, very equal. There's only very minor differences. I do dislike on the C64 this habit of the mushrooms going faster and spaceships arriving earlier. It gives you more instant gratification when you're playing it, but for the longevity it really ramps up the pressure far quicker than the other versions. For my money, I really like the Amstrad CPC version, but that's probably my Amstrad owner rose-tinted glasses and my memories of buying this game for £1.99. Frankly, I could sit down with any of the versions of this game and really enjoy it, and did when I played it for this review. And I strongly recommend that you pick the game up and give it a go as well, because as a £1.99 budget game, it really is quite remarkable.